Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Breezy. Breezy was just named to HLTV's top 20 list as the 20th best player of 2020. Now, I'm not really sure what role he plays within Evil Geniuses, or for that matter, how he plays Nuke, so I'll be really interested to see how he approaches this map. It is a game against NIP where he performed quite well, particularly on the CT half. So I'm really interested to see one, how is he taking his micro engagements when he's in active within a fight? What is his thought process? How is he reacting to the things that come to him? First off, and then secondly, I'm really curious to see what mistakes he takes advantage of on the part of NIP throughout this game. So I'm really looking at this from sort of a micro positional thing rather than a macro. Though, as always, I'll be paying attention to how Breezy looks within his team situation and sort of the system they're running. Kind of a late upload for me, pretty late at night, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. All right, 3 toward ramp. Breezy just kind of playing standard, trying to bait people in. Doesn't look like they're gonna get anything. Yeah, so EG gambling on the ramp push. NIP go inner or upper rather. So that was very calm on Breezy's part. And that's one thing we talk about a lot for these superstar players is sort of how calm they play these situations. 2 nice headshots by Breezy. Happens to the best of us, guys. We all miss our util. So Nuke is a map where the meta has changed quite a lot, particularly around Squeaky over the most recent months. So everything, I mean, really, the Nuke meta has changed in general over the last few months. Everything from new smoke walls outside uh, to different looks on the Squeaky door. The counter terrorists often will now just throw a frag grenade there almost every single round, just trying to delay people going for vent dives, seeing if they can really just put a stop to that. Breezy getting a little nervous, thinking that they might be about to creep out of height. And his team clean it up. Nice and easy. Yeah, nowadays you might see that nade. Certainly Ethan's grenade when he jumps on top of the hut. Very much thrown at that Squeaky door quite often. Alright, Breezy. I like that he drops lower to sight, enabling, you see his teammate on the minimap there, the green player, enabling that guy to rotate in and out, really fluid rotations. You don't want to get bottlenecked at heaven. Too often you see the second A player will stay rafters, stay heaven, and really just kind of gum up the rotations. You need to be dropping sight very often. Obviously, with all things, it depends, but that's a common mistake I see at mid to low levels. Even mid to high levels, to be honest. Alright, what do we have? What do we have? Okay, they opened Squeaky. We saw that. Maybe not open, maybe it's been blown up. Oh, they must be lower. Alright, it's rotating here. His teammates are all lower, and he's the only player on A, so a lot of faith they're having here in Breezy. So aware. Ready for that outside lurk. Really common at higher levels to have. I mean, at all levels, honestly. You throw the smokes to cross outside, you take lower. One player stays lurking. He's typically a ramp player. Breezy, honestly, a little, maybe a little too passive there, but it works out. Doesn't get punished. In fact, I like that. So we saw this with the Alu video, where I really like when players show that passive, slow, patient play can put up big numbers. Now, Evil Geniuses aren't exactly winning tournament after tournament, but it's nice to see that Breezy can make that sort of very patient, very calculated play style work to his advantage. I'll be interested to see if he keeps that up throughout. Not rushing into things in the micro. Brutal. I say he's not rushing as he knifes out. I mean, they must have spotted him outside, yeah. Absolutely brutal. So there we see he takes up. I'm actually going to watch that again in slow motion. Just to really try to internalize his decision making and process it. Kind of a micro level. Okay, so here we go. So he hears the util coming outside. Often you'll see a player like Ethan preemptively. So interesting notes there are just that immediately after on the left, he was unpeaking. He recognized that he had low ammo, and instead of full committing to the fight, he peeked out, burst, and then was ready to move. Now he dinked and instantly got the next kill, so it was not that relevant, but that's really good awareness just in terms of his peeking. And then also that he went for the immediate swing after getting that first kill. He didn't just stand there, right? He got the kill, was trying to wise Alright, this may be a little loud. Let me... Why do you mute? No pause, they said. HF, HF, HF. Alright. Let's turn the game volume down. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Wow, NIP getting the bomb down. Just very clean mechanics these last 2 rounds by Breezy. So, playing the A anchor, it's a position on Nuke where you need to have a star aimer playing it. You need to have a star player in the role. Because if you don't, it's so easy for them to just get completely run over. But if you do, then that player doesn't have the ability to impact the round sort of vis-a-vis a Simple would, right? Where Simple consistently... Oh, nice 1K. Electro doubling up. Simple will consistently be rotating. Right, this should be a save. Yeah, we can skip ahead. Simple's rotations are a work of art on Nuke. And if you put him as a simple A anchor, no pun intended, he would be amazing at it, but much easier to avoid. Now, I tend to think that might be the future, is to put your superstar players in sort of these anchor roles. You see Vitality doing that on Nuke with some amount of success. Even Astralis leaving Device over at A rather than having him roam around the map constantly. You'll have Glaive double off quite often. There we go. There's the early grenade. And you see the grenade actually stops Twist, then he burns in the Molotov right after. So, really good stuff on their part. Kind of interesting aggression here. 4v4. Oh, Cirque picks one up outside. Sitting inside the smoke. You see Electronic do this. Electronic's the best in the world at sitting in smokes, but Breezy, comfortable. Very confident that he can give Electronic a run for his money. Not overextending here. I feel like so many players would have already gone aggressive. Breezy not getting antsy. Oh, I'm just robotic aim. Twice now committing out to this outward flank. I feel like a lot of players would fall back ramp, would try to gamble on the upper play. Breezy very comfortable, just pushing out, taking space outside. We see the blood splattered walls and lockers. Eight seconds. Breezy knows they're not A. And again, that patience, right? Not stepping on the ladder, not giving them any inclination, being aware far in advance of the audio cues. That's one big takeaway that I'm getting already. Much more cognizant of sound than, I mean, frankly, most other players I've seen on Nuke. And then just really efficient mechanical skill. Honestly, this is the first player we've done an analysis of where I feel as though Breezy's mechanics have no grenade. And so now they're unsure whether or not someone's dove down the vent. Yeah, this is honestly the first game where I feel like someone's mechanics have really played a big role in their kills. Obviously, every single one of these players who we're reviewing have incredible mechanical skill, but we see from there. I'm actually going to watch that flank once more. Okay, so what's his thought process here? He sees one, waits, knows that he's running around the door. Okay. Pre-firing and going aggressive. Pre-aiming here actually gets caught off a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Wow. So just really clean mechanics on the part of Breeze. Breezy. I like this. Too often you see players who go this way, they kind of rush. They want to get to the spot before the A execute comes in. And you see that they kind of miss they miss some opportunities, right? And Breezy very much cautious. That's one thing. He seems very, so far from this, what I'm taking away is that tucking away until the whole wave of flashes goes off. Beautiful spray transfer. Excellent control. Yeah, so while I'm learning some things about the specifics of what he's doing, right? Where, you know, tucking your head in there, that's quite a standard way. Really, the thing that's standing out is that his mechanics are very far advanced from anyone else we've looked at so far. He's having quite a good game mechanically. And then beyond that, he is hyper aware of sound on Nuke and hyper aware of, how do I put it? Not even hyper aware per se, but very cognizant of when it's okay to push versus when he needs to shift and be quiet. They have the bomb down outside. I like that he pushes up on the smoke after he throws it. When you hear that smoke land in that way as a T-sided player, you're expecting it to be from someone playing further back. You know they can push up, but it's still easy to be caught off guard. Waiting in the smoke, not getting greedy. That's one thing as well we've seen from Breezy is that he doesn't really get greedy, right? He's not getting greedy for these kills. Calm, collected. And this is perhaps another thing that we see different in today's meta. This lobby crunch is so common that you see teams almost diverting away, stacking the ramp room instead. Yeah, trying to catch them coming heaven, which Taric does. They plant the bomb, and even this, right? Oh, but even there with Taric making noise, allowing Taric to fight. Breezy very cognizant of the noise he's making. Wants to give no inclination whatsoever if he's there or not. And frankly, that's very unique, right? While I'm 100% certain these other players were watching, the Simples of the world, the Nikos, even the Alus, are aware of all of this. It's really interesting to see such caution on his part. Cirque getting some kills, pushing in dry. Decides he doesn't want a Galil. So I find that interesting as well. Pushing on contact with Cirque. Wanting to fight that 1v1 fight. Brutal. And they're just patience. Just patience. Very keen on this hut aggression. Typically with a smoke in front of it though, so I'm curious as to see what he wants to do here. Wow, just hard reading like, hey, yo, they're... Oh, I guess they were called lower. Wow, 5v5? Crazy. Do they just smoke outside and go down quickly? Oh, brutal. Gap in the door. Brutal, brutal. Yeah, and that's a situation where clearly they'd crossed lower and something had gone sort of sideways there for EG, and wow, the insta save after the loss. Not really too worried about this eco. I always find it funny when people clear angles their teammates have already looked at. And his teammates start dropping. Breeze 1-3. Oof, brutal. Alright, so back on another buy, FAMAS in hand. Let's see what he does when he has the FAMAS, because you're gonna struggle a little bit more to win these fights with the FAMAS. Oh. Unlucky. Wow, that did 16 damage. Crazy. Molotovs are... That spread is always a little annoying. Like, it's part of the game, so you just have to roll with it, but... it's still a little annoying. Just a little bit. So really enjoying this angle. Certainly for those who study his nuke VODs extensively like the other team, they'd be much more prepared for this in the future, so I'm certain he mixes it in quite effectively. But quite a powerful angle. Then again, this lobby aggression. This time a full lobby crunch coming in. Cirque should not be the one holding the first contact here, just because Breezy has so often been aggressing that if Cirque takes contact, they'll expect Breezy right here, right? So small mistake on their part, but it doesn't matter because Ethan's just fragging out. They finally aggro in. Oh, clean. All right, match point. What happens? SG in hand. Yeah, really need to see. And I mean, this is where the meta has shifted. It's funny that it was such a small change, and yet it is, wow, brutal. And yet it has impacted the gameplay so much to the point where without that grenade being thrown, it feels quite weird, right? It feels strange. Tucking away in toward ramp. Allowing his teammates to stack toward A, toward outside. Starts the move, thinks better of it. He's kind of moving around, tucking himself back into the corner. Five versus one match point. All right, that'll be it. So Breezy, 25-6 that game. He won a Prisma case. Let's go, Breezy. Yeah, really just the takeaways, right? So first and foremost, his mechanical skill stood out. Unlike anything we've really seen in terms of just the precision of it. Oops, back to our page when the demo ends. But beyond that, really defensive, cautious play to the point where it lost him around once, where he could have been a little more aggressive, made some noise, fought with his teammate. Instead, kind of baited Tarik a little bit because of this inherent desire to not make noise on nuke. But Breezy, the number 20 player of 2020, with a dominant half against NIP from earlier last year, 2020. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, peace. Is that it? Is that the outro?